Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Who Asked You for this review. My name is Alec. I'm joined by my co-hosts today, Kalib LaChapelle and Ross Parker, as usual. And today we have an honorary guest host for this week of the review, Ronnie Manley, my friend from the childhood. He was recently on the podcast. You can tune in there, learn more of his backstory now. But we are going to dive into WandaVision Episode 8, Previously On.
And weird name. Right off the bat, weird name.
Weird name, but holds true to it during the episode, right?
Yes.
Very. Absolutely. But we're going to dive into this. And Ross, I want you to kick it off. Give me your reaction and your rating of it.
I enjoyed this episode. It was cool learning past about a character. It was cool seeing everything kind of build up to the point where it is now, getting the whole backstory on it all. I enjoyed it. It still, though, is another setup, and a setup that I will say probably doesn't have as big of a payoff as the last one did. And so my score actually will go and dip into the sevens, and I'm going to give it a 7.9.
Ooh. Up with Ross being a dick.
Again, I'm not saying this is a bad episode. This is setup. I get it. We are having a big payoff, fingers crossed, knock on wood, in the final episode. But it's a slow, in terms of actually progressing the story, like not much time has passed, in theory, by the end of episode 8 than where we left off from episode 7.
Bro, she's grieving. Leave her alone.
To be fair, she's been grieving for a while.
Mm-hmm. She's been grieving for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Never mind.
So 7 point what, Ross?
9.
Dick. I'm pissed. I'm sorry. All right. So, Kalib, do you want to give me your response for this one?
Sure. I'm going in the opposite direction of Ross. While I agree that it is, as far as we're talking about WandaVision storyline, it's not really progressing it a ton. The backstory we get, I'm trying to do this without spoilers, the backstory we get on certain characters was amazing.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
The new reveals at the end of it were awesome. Mm-hmm. Names, other things. I'm giving it I'm not going to break it into the 9 yet. I'm not going to break it into the 9 tag yet. I'm giving it an 8.9.
Whoa.
Yeah, that seems right around
I think this was a fantastic episode. I think this was the best episode of the show so far.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Kalib. So far, this is the hands down the best episode we've gotten, right? And I'm going to give it my one-word review with retrospect. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Is that right? Is that the correct word?
Yeah,
retrospect. That's good.
All right, and I'm going to give it the good old-fashioned 8.99.
God damn it.
Oh, man, well, I don't really have a scale. Like, you guys have been grading some stuff, so I'm not the harshest critic, but just the fact that it's longer than 26 minutes makes it like a 9.5 for me.
That's fair. Man, that's entirely fair.
Oh man, every single time leaves me wanting more. Like this did. I'm like, what the heck? It's already over. But man, I thought it was so good. I agree with, both you, Ross and Kalib, that not much story has progressed. It's like, oh man, you still want to learn all this much, but it also gave so many answers and different answers than what I expected. Usually I know like what's going to happen in shows. They're like usually pretty predictable. But we're doing no spoilers.
No spoiler round.
That would have been nice to know. What if I would have just ruined your guys' show, had to restart? But I
didn't say that beforehand. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good. I thought it was really good. I just wasn't exactly what I was expecting. So it was cool.
That's how it's been every episode, man. Just never what we're expecting. But I think that's where we're going to dive into the spoilers. So
last chance.
Camera, cut the check. Get out of here if you don't want any spoilers. If you want spoilers, tune in. We're going to talk about it. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Is this White Vision good or bad? Who wants to take that?
To be bad.
It's Ultron again. It's Ultron again.
Ronnie?
I mean, we already saw that. We already saw, what's his name? Director, what's his name?
Hayward.
We already saw he lied about. We already saw he lied about Wanda stealing Vision's body. He 100% is 100% is an asshole about this.
He was
Back to my-
baiting her too. He was baiting her to
Oh,
steal
he
him.
totally
Yeah.
was.
And she still didn't. And
Yeah.
then he doctored it. Oh, dude, that guy's a
Can we talk
punk.
about the $3 billion in vibranium line? How did the doctor that made Ultron's body have $3 billion in vibranium? Oh
did.
shit, never mind. They stole it
Yeah,
from,
stole it from
never mind. We're good.
Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I thought was crazy was, damn it, I had a thought there and I lost it.
Sorry.
No worries. But so White Vision, bad across the board. Oh yeah. Commonly question I ask here every single day: Director Hayward, still a dick?
Massive.
Huge dick.
Absolutely.
It's impressive that he managed to become a bigger dick,
Big
Yeah, I
time
know.
cocksucker.
which usually is a good thing for guys, but not this one.
This guy is just an absolute asshole.
He's got a
Uh,
punchable face.
If
Yeah,
he
he really
does.
does.
he
this
totally
actor's
does.
doing a good job. Let's just be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
100%.
Praise
Great
him.
performance.
Good
Um,
performance.
One thing that's on my mind before we move away from White Ultron, Joe's not.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he is.
It just doesn't sound good when you say it like that. It sounds
does
like a
not
terrible.
sound-
It sounds like a terrible level of the clan. Like White Ultron is now coming. You know, we have Grand Wizard now. We have White Ultron.
We can say like Ultron Blanco or something like that.
Oh, that might be worse.
That's not better. Now they have a Spanish like sect now. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Uh,
Director Hayward's Ultron.
Got it.
Director Hayward's Ultron. It feels like at some point in the final episode, Wanda's gonna have to mesh the mind of the Ultron she created. Not Ultron.
Vision.
Vision. Thank you. Director Hayward's vision, and mesh it with the mind of Director Hayward's vision, so we get our vision back. Does that make sense? It feels like that's gonna happen in the final episode.
All I heard is we're getting our Vision back, and I'm loving it.
which makes sense. Like, we had to bring Vision back by the end of the show, right? You couldn't just leave Vision dead.
It would
Mhm.
hurt.
In theory,
After
you
you
could
just
have. It
make-
would have hurt.
After you make all of us get like attached to like.
You can't
Daddy
kick Paul
Vision,
Bettany off this show.
Yeah.
Come on,
Mm.
off
it's
this
rough,
series.
bro. Dad Vision has been like the peak of this entire show.
Speaking of Paul
Yes.
Bettany, did you guys see the theory from Screen Rant today that so you know how he had a quote saying like, "Oh, there's this new character coming in portrayed by an actor that I've always wanted to work with."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's just thinking that it's White Vision, and he was talking about himself, and he's like, "Yeah, I've always just wanted to really work with myself."
That's
That'd be hilarious.
awesome.
That'd be pretty good.
I
That'd be
fucking
pretty
love
good.
Paul Bettany.
That'd be
Yeah, yeah.
fucking hilarious.
That'd be pretty good if you did that. Which is ironic because this is actually the we get no Vision throughout most of the entire show, right?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Wanda centric.
Yeah. And I mean that Vision we get in the end credit scene, not our Vision.
Well,
just
and
not
then
our
we
Vision.
do get Vision in that fantastic scene at the Avengers headquarters.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, we do get a Vision. Okay, cool.
And that
Good.
was a really great scene.
That was the best part of the episode. That entire Ghost of Christmas
Hun-
Past
So
flashback scene.
flashbacks, yeah, I had
100%.
that. Which was our favorite, or what did we find the most interesting from the flashback scenes? Caleb, obviously you had yours stated already. So which one do you feel?
I think it's when we get to see the Mind Stone, what Hydra's doing with the Mind Stone in
I have another question about
Sokovia,
that.
how it affects Wanda, if that's what makes it so she can make her vision, how that entire thing works.
Ross?
For me, it's the Vision Wanda, their first real connecting after Wanda's brother, Pietro, had just died. And we could see there how Wanda immediately starts gravitating towards Vision, where even this robotic synthezoid or whatever you want to call him, like still understands to some capacity empathy. And what was it he said? What is grief if not love persevering?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great line.
Like, what a great fucking line. I'm totally stealing that someday.
Deal.
Like, in that
Oh, yeah.
created such like a humanizing moment for Vision as well. And you
Yeah.
can see like in moments like that where he shows the sincerity, how Wanda loves him so much.
Oh yeah, definitely saw it there. Ronnie, flashbacks. What'd you find? What'd you take away from
Oh
the flashback
man,
scene?
I mean, I'm there with Ross. I thought that scene was awesome and just
yeah,
made
human-
him feel like human.
yeah, the
You know,
human
it's good 'cause,
characteristic of
you
a
know,
metal
even
man.
Throughout like the Avengers, I'm like, come on, dude. It's like Wanda's a smoke show, and then she's like with a robot, but it's like, okay, I get it, dude. Vision's awesome.
It's like the metal
He's-
man with the heart.
yeah, oh, 100%.
Vision
yeah.
went Vision went friend zone to end zone is all I'm hearing, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm cheering him
Stud.
on.
Yeah.
It also needs to be thrown out that that first flashback was also really cool to show how Wanda came to picking each episode's theme.
Yeah, I heard on Screen Rant the dude called it. He was saying she watched like episodes when she lived in Sokovia, And I guess that'd be an interesting way to learn English. We never really question how well she knows English when you first see her, because you just kind of assume everybody's going to knows English because it's just
Totally.
Yeah, but that was a great way. For me, I think the roughest one was when she gets the deed to their plot of land in Westview.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's the latest flashback. I don't even know what you want to call it, like almost flashback.
It was the start of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that one hit me because it's like the forethought Vision had to like get a plot of land, to have all of his like
to grow old together.
He
with
doesn't
a little
grow
heart
old.
around it. He doesn't grow old.
That one got me, and I was like, oh, I can see.
I mean, who knows? I mean, Agatha Harkness is still around, and she is alive in like the Salem part.
That's
so
true.
maybe Scarlett Witch.
True.
Yeah, does
like,
she not age now?
So they probably won't.
Which is a perfect transition for me, Ronnie. Thank you. What a layup,
Nice
bro. All right. How powerful is Agatha? Ronnie and I had a conversation about this when we were watching it, and we discussed a sort of power versus technique kind of deal. But what are your guys' thoughts on how powerful Agatha is? Ross, let me get you first.
That's a tough one because we see at the beginning of the episode how she just waxes her fellow witches.
Or like sucks their entire life force out of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We see how powerful she is in that instance. What interests me is that it's weird how like throughout the entire episode they don't frame her as a bad guy. It's like they almost set it up that she is learning from Wanda.
She seems very inquisitive.
Yes,
right?
That's it. Very inquisitive about it all. I mean, I think she's a very powerful witch, but it's like she's also curious by like how OP Wanda is.
Well, does she see Wanda as a threat is the next thing. But Caleb,
I think she wants that power. She's always hungry for knowledge kind of thing.
She wants the Mind Stone. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think take the Mind Stone away from Wanda, Agatha waxes her because Agatha's older. Agatha's got more skill. She knows about the runes that she's got around her basement. So Wanda can't practice magic.
And that brings up a great point that I was pondering with myself yesterday. It's like Wanda, we can see from the very beginning with the missile strike on her parents' place that like she's the very beginning witch, but her powers are just extrapolated by the Infinity Stone.
Yep, brought up to 11 for sure.
Can
Ronnie,
we talk about?
What's up?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Ronnie, go. I've got one more question for the end.
Send it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it, Caleb.
So does this mean one of Wanda's parents was a witch, or is this hinting at a potential Wanda and Pietro aren't really their parents, and this is a Mephisto situation?
So interesting. Is it what I was actually talking to Ronnie about was we talked about repressed mutant genes.
Could also be it.
So that
Deadpool.
was like something kind of like that's what they did in Deadpool. So what did the Mind Stone kind of bring it out of them is Scarlet Witch the witch. I remember there's a theory that's like, is Scarlet Witch a witch? And therefore when she saw Pietro and she knew that the only people that ever come into contact with Mind Stone die, did she give Pietro powers by chance so he could run away all the time?
I'll throw out, I don't think the Mind Stone brought it out. We saw in the very initial when the bomb strikes.
She stops it.
She stops it.
Yeah, so she does it take it to the next level?
Yes.
Because Agatha does say she's like, if she never used it, she would never develop. Kind of like force powers with a Jedi, right?
Yeah.
If they don't learn and use it, it never really grows.
Yeah.
So that was just something I was like too. Ronnie, do you want to go get into how powerful Agatha is?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about it. I think it's just one where she's like the book nerd, and then Scarlet Witch is like the jock kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I feel for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think him and I talked about technique versus power, where we like look at Scarlet Witch and she's like absolute raw, untapped, no technique to her power, but like Agatha is like she's got it down. She knows her ruins, she knows her rituals, she knows her.
She is more powerful than your average witch, though, because she does defeat the entire coven. So she's got a little bit of extra oomph behind her.
Her mom had that crown thing, so she was legit.
I was gonna say, I guess it's kind of like in the NFL, like you have a wide receiver who just practices the shit out of running his routes and is a super technician and who's a good athlete, And then you have Megatron, you have Calvin Johnson, you have
Megatron.
Wes Welker versus
you have
Yeah.
a dominant wide receiver on the other side. It's kind of like that level.
You got a Gronkowski or something like that. It's just huge.
Exactly.
About. So
Or
yeah,
Randy
Moss
Moss.
is a good one. So one scene in the flashbacks that I wrote down a question was, is when they're Hydra testing facility, Wanda gets Mind Stoned. There's a figure that does like obviously that does the silhouette that comes toward her. Blatantly looks like her comic book counterpart. Was this Nexus Wanda? Does Wanda see her Nexus self, Scarlet Witch?
Ooh.
Because that's what I'm thinking is this how this Nexus character kind of comes to contact using the Mind Stone? You know, the Infinity Stones are known to have a grip over reality and a lot of things. But
Interesting.
interesting.
I
What
hadn't
do you
thought
guys
of that.
think?
I like that.
That's a very cool idea.
So, what are your thoughts on that along those ways?
I mean, I just gave mine. I think it's a cool idea.
But yeah, Ronnie, any thoughts, prayers?
Yeah, no, I think it's cool as well. I was almost thinking that, kind of almost going back into what we were talking about, how it, you know, being witch is hereditary, and she wore her Halloween outfit, and she was saying it was like a Sarkovian fortune teller or whatever, but possibly that's actually like a witch costume from that maybe was like a family member. So maybe it's like even a family member witch kind of thing.
Nice catch, Ronnie.
That's good.
That is
Yeah,
good.
maybe. Well, she had to learn the Sokovian fortune teller story from somebody. Who better than your mom to tell you a story
Who's
about
like
your
some
heritage?
maybe crazy
There was-
OP witch or something.
There's a video I watched on this. If we really think about it, Nexus has already been mentioned in the MCU, because if we think about the Age of Ultron, when Tony
Website.
starts at that website or whatever, and they mention, our friends at the Nexus.
Yeah.
So
which is where all the internet runs through.
Which
is
makes
very
sense of
parallel to
why that would be the Guardians of the
multiverse.
Multiverse. Yeah.
Yeah, which would also be very interesting they would use the same word for the multiverse.
and also a possible tie-in to Ultron.
Another internet thing. Yeah, we would, you know.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the things that made up Vision, we've got the Mind Stone. That's gone. It's not in Vision anymore. We've got Ultron. That's still there.
Yes.
We've got Jarvis, who couldn't defeat Ultron until he was given the Mind Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically still there, but not as powerful as Ultron. And
Theoretically,
And we still got
theoretically
Tony
can
in there.
dodge him, and Hulk.
and the Vibranium.
Man, yeah.
And Tony and Bruce.
Yeah.
So what else did Shuri do? Shuri tampered with the Mind Stone. How much did she tamper with it?
True.
And so I'm very interested in like what aspects they took from that. I do have another question. Where's Monica? We see Billy and Tommy.
Yeah.
You know, she's got them tied around. But like, where's Monica? Where's
that was
Monica in
weird.
this deal? Yeah, very weird way to go.
Well,
about
'cause-
it.
So we saw her powers and then she did.
Like, dude,
Well,
just back up, kids. It's
Yeah.
not around the back of your neck.
Yeah.
Right.
'cause-
Well, what I was thinking was that part of me thinks the kids are fake, because in the comic books it's happened where Wanda and Agatha are having a conversation, and it's revealed that the children are fake. I think that's a possibility. I won't say it's real or not.
I'm-
And
You
also,
take Wanda's kids away from her after all of this. Like, come on.
This woman needs like, oh god,
She needs a dub.
yeah, she needs a win. She's lost
Yeah.
a lot, and it's like that was the other thing, man. You really don't know how like tragic Wanda's story is until they literally do all this
Show it to you.
exposition.
Yeah,
They
and
do
you're
a
like,
full
no.
Ghost of Christmas Past on you.
and then to answer where's Monica, well, if we remember the mid-credit scene from last episode, she goes, finds Agatha's basement, and then fake Pietro comes in.
Pietro.
So we don't
Pietro.
thank you. We don't know what happened. And just in theory, this episode, although it spans years of Wanda's life, in terms of actual real time in Westview,
Probably doesn't take that long.
probably doesn't take more than 30 minutes. So in theory, Monica is still dealing with Quicksilver.
Yeah, she could do still be dealing with. Yeah, he does have his Quicksilver powers. To be perfectly
What?
said.
Quick? So no.
Can't
do that.
Quicksilver. That's weird. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Ronnie brought up a good question though. Is that Quicksilver good or bad? He's obviously under Agatha's control.
Mhm.
Is
Bad.
he good or bad?
Bad.
All right.
I don't know. Because I'm
Agatha's-
still not convinced that Agatha's bad.
Yeah, I feel like he's a pawn of Agatha.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced Agatha's bad. I was actually have that question too. Is like, and we kind of discussed a lot of it during this show. You know, where do we feel about Agatha? Is she the main?
I said it last
She's
week.
the
I don't
end
think
boss.
I don't think Agatha's the bad guy.
I don't think she's
Yeah.
the main.
It's a question that gets asked every week because every week we learn a little bit more information. Ronnie, what are your thoughts on the main? Sorry, Ross.
You're good.
Oh,
Guess first.
yeah, there's no way she's the big bad of the episode or of the season. I think that it's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna be like ending with an introduction and have like the main bad actually be like the main bad guy of the multiverse of madness. I think I could see Doctor Strange making a cameo at the end of this season and have it be like a segue into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Agatha is a villain, I think, for sure, but definitely not the main bad guy.
You're saying you think Cumby's gonna come in?
I think he's gonna. I'm
Don't
not
bring-
gonna repeat
Stop
that.
calling him Cumby.
I'm not gonna repeat
Stop.
that one, but yeah, I think he is.
It's
Hey,
interesting.
Said before, I still stick by my guns. I think Nightmare is going to be in some
Right.
capacity introduced in this.
You're holding so tight to Nightmare.
I'm
and I
holding
love
on to it.
He's
do
gonna.
think
He's up to the last minute, like the last end credit scene. He's like, Nightmare, baby.
I'm doing the same
gonna
thing with
die.
Mephisto, to be fair.
I'm going to die on this poll.
I did the same thing with Thrawn in Mandalorian season 2. You're gonna die on a pole.
You're gonna die on the pole?
Okay, that's not great.
You didn't say that right.
I didn't. Okay, that wasn't said right. But
Is
like,
the hole on top of the hill, or is it like?
I'm going to die on this hill.
Yeah.
There it is. But I also think that with the mid-credits scenes in this past episode, a huge door opens up for Ultron. I think.
I definitely feel like we're gonna have if Vision does not have the voice of Ultron, I'll be a little bit kind of like
White
oh,
Vision?
White Vision, yeah.
Director Hayward Vision. We can't say.
I'll say White
No,
Vision.
I think White Vision's fine because that's the name in the comics.
But you said White Ultron. And I
White
was like, damn,
Ultron
that's
is to
weird.
another level.
Yeah, it's really weird. Honestly, I think really the big bad of the entire show is probably going to be Director Hayward in some way. And I think Ronnie's right when we're going to get another end credit big bad. I feel like Caleb is kind of spewing some truth with Agatha being more inquisitive than bad. Like, good
I
intentions.
still think we're
bad-
gonna get
bad
a
usage.
little three-way split for this first phase of, or fifth phase of the MCU, I guess. But first phase post Endgame, I think we're gonna have the Young Avengers over here. We're gonna have the witches here in the middle, and we're
Yeah,
gonna
now
have
we
the
have
bad
witches.
guys over here.
I was just say it feels like with Agatha, I wouldn't say anti-hero, but it feels kind of like a rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her character.
And that's where
Very rogue.
and that's where Scarlet Witch is heading right
Mm.
now.
Chaos Magic got definitely
Yeah.
featured. I think I said it. I was like, I feel like Agatha is going to be a Loki-ish type of character. Good, bad, sometimes bad, good, sometimes. This just really could go either way. That was about the gist of my questions. We kind of did this really fast, and Ronnie and I just finished up watching the episode like last night. So we went
It's
through a
always
lot of
easier
stuff.
when we do it on Saturdays as opposed to, you
Oh,
know, on
Tuesday. I have to,
Tuesday like we did last week.
remember- Yeah, I have to like remember what the episode is. Yeah, it's tougher. But I think that's our show. Do we have anything else that kind of happened? Anything else that I didn't touch upon?
I had a question, but totally forgot. So it must not have been important.
You say that, and then it's gonna be like the best question ever, and I'll be like, Ross, why the fuck did you say that?
Odds we get a Nick Cage cameo as Ghost Rider. Low? Zero?
I'd say low.
Low?
So, what are the odds of the? What are the odds of? Nah, I want to try to burn Ross, but I can't think of anything. All right, well, later.
Have a
That
great
was
week,
my-
everybody.
Yeah.
Wait, before we leave,
No. As
smash
you
that
ask your
subscribe button.
And say it.
And thank you, Ronnie, for coming on.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks,
This was
Ronnie.
fun.
Ross was a little premature with that smash that subscribe button.
Do you want to hit it
Ah.
again,
That was
Ross?
saying-
Don't. Okay.
Can I
And make
end
sure
the
to smash
show?
that subscribe button.
Okay.
Okay. Have a great
Later,
week,
guys.
everybody.